Good morning, people. What is going on? David Durang here. And I have a question for everyone this morning. And that question is, how do you guys select the next place you're going to travel to? How do you choose the next location? And the reason I want to ask this question this morning is because for many, many years, people would see me post my videos, my pictures, just like everybody else. And they would say, how was the place? And I'll tell them. And then they'll say, where are you going to next? And I don't know if people were looking as inspiration or just curious of what I was going to do next. But I always said, I don't know. And the reason I said I didn't know is the same reason I say it today. And that's because I would have to take it to the root of my whole travel journey. Now, when I first started, I started working with the airlines about a decade ago, and people that work in the airline industry know that you get flight benefits. Not everybody, but the majority of people that work for airlines, they get to fly. So what that means is you fly standby, which is another way of saying that after the paying customers go, if there happens to be seats available, then they'll go through the standby list, and that's based on seniority, and that's how they come to which of the standbys get to go on. The obviously an employee has priority over somebody with a buddy pass, and it just goes on and on. So when you fly like that, it's kind of hard to choose a place you're going to with 100% certainty that you're going to make it. Now, even though you have, for the most part, I would say 80% of the time, you have a system where you can check, and you 80% of the time, you know if you're going to make it or not. I'll just say 80% because there's always a chance you don't make it, because even if you're even if you check the employee system and you can see the number of paid customers and the standbys, there's always a chance that people may have missed their other flight, or there's a mechanical issue for one flight and then people transfer over to your flight. So they take those paying customers take seniority over you. So then you went from 10 seats available to now all these other people going to your flight. And then you then have the choice to wait to get rolled over to the next flight and deal with that same problem. Or you have another opportunity to look at what are some other places I can go to in this moment, you know? And so that's how I lived all those years. I just picked a place very loosely. A lot of times I didn't even buy um, my. A lot of times I didn't purchase the my hotel until I actually got to the place, because what if I was going to Japan and booked a hotel and there was no seats there and I had to go to, I don't know, Portugal, for example. I would have to be on the phone and try to get them to cancel. And then some places you can cancel on the same day without losing all your money. There's so much you have to go through. So I always like to be 100% sure. Then I would um, get my hotel and things like that. So when I first started, I used to go to countries not knowing where I was going to stay. And then also, there wasn't that many search engines as there are today to book a flight. So uh, you know, what I've done in recent years was, when the door closes, when I'm in the plane and the door closes and we're getting pushed back, that's when I would rapidly find a hotel, even if I wasn't going to stay there. Look for different choices, copy down the hotel address, so then I at least have something to show the customs when I reach. Because when you sign your form, they want to know where you're going to stay, so they can keep tabs on you, whatever the case may be. They just don't want random people in that country and they have no clue of where they're going to be during their stay. So at least I had that information, because there are times when I had no I had nothing to put on the custom form and they give me a problem about it, which it makes a lot of sense. How are you going to come and invest so many hours on the plane and you have no clue where you're going to stay? But with the standby situation, this is how it is. And so I have times when I had to just work on the fly. Like something happened with my flight or something happened, I would just have to change it. That's the way I lived, which wasn't a problem because it's not like I was going to an event. It's not like I was hard pressed to go somewhere. My ultimate goal was to go everywhere in the world, and that's still my goal, to just go everywhere. So, uh, and when you fly solo, it's like you could do whatever you want. It's not like you're going with friends and the place you want to go, they don't want to go, because that I could see how that will happen. You want to go to a place random like Honduras, and the average person or the average American, they're not going to want to go there. A lot of people, especially Americans, they like going to places with big names. Me, I like going to those places, but the places you don't hear about that much. Like, it's been like 2 years now. I went to Croatia. Who in America is thinking about going to Croatia? But man, what a gorgeous place, even the countryside. Because I was taking a bus. That was a trip where I was going to multiple locations, which I love doing. And just the countryside, the view, even Albania was beautiful when I went there. And these are places that are not on people's radar. The closest thing to people's radar in that area of Eastern Europe is Greece, and I would say Italy is not that far east, but we'll just say between Rome and Athens are the places where most Americans want to go to. But the things in between, like I went to Montenegro and just trying to see new places, this is not on people's radar. So that's why I wanted to ask, how do people select where they're going? I know Carnival just passed in a lot of the Caribbean, so I would understand if someone is traveling to go there. But if you're going somewhere based on the weather, I want to know if people also consider whether it's peak or off peak times as well, because weather is easy. If you want to go somewhere hot, basically go anywhere in the Caribbean, pretty much, right? And just stay out of it in hurricane season, pretty much. Very easy. Now, so you selected a hot place, and if you decide to go to the resort, does it really matter where you go? So in that case, if you just wanted a hot place and a resort with an all-inclusive resort, to be honest, it really doesn't matter where you go. Select anywhere in the Caribbean, or look at the Caribbean, look at 5 to 10 choices, look at the price, whatever is more reasonable, and with accommodations and airfare, then you select it, then go. Because if you're just going to a resort and you have no plans of going out, it really doesn't matter what country you go to. So please give me some feedback. Let me know your process in which you use to go to your next place. Like right now, I'm trying to think what's my next destination. I have no clue, but I know I oftentimes get inspired by something, and that's how I choose where I'm gonna go to next. So, how do you get inspired? Let me know in the comment section.